Coming in! Coming in!
A gun battle in Oka leaves one policeman dead. And the Mohawk barricades still up.
News Watch with Dennis Trudeau.
Hello. Mohawk versus police, with their guns aimed at each other, and one Quebec police force officer dead. That's the situation tonight at two native communities in the Montreal area. In Oka, the Mohawks seized several police vehicles and trashed them after an aborted police raid this morning. In Kanehsatake, Mohawk have closed off the Mercier Bridge, sparking a traffic nightmare. We have extensive coverage tonight from our team of reporters and cameramen on the scene. And we begin with John Curtin, who's behind the barricades in Oka with the Mohawk of Kanehsatake.
Provincial police arrived at dawn, secured their positions, and gave the Mohawk until 8 to clear out. But the natives stood their ground. The battle for the barricades started just before 9 o'clock. On one side, heavily armed provincial police lobbed tear gas and stun grenades. The Mohawks responded with automatic firepower.
Coming in! Coming in!
A 20-minute gun battle ensued. Dozens of rounds of ammunition were shot off, and then the inevitable. Someone was hit. A police officer took a bullet in the face, which proved fatal. That seemed to turn the tide. The police, who had been advancing until then, turned tail and fled, leaving 6 of their vehicles behind. John Curtin, CBC News, Oka.
Corporal Marcel Lemay was rushed to Saint-Eustache Hospital at around 9:15. When he arrived, he was suffering from cardiac arrest. Hospital officials tried to resuscitate him, but at 10:15, some 45 minutes later, he died.
He was shot in the face.
Hospital officials say Lemay was wearing a bulletproof vest when he was shot. Lemay was a member of the provincial police SWAT team. He was one of the officers sent to Oka to dismantle the Mohawk barricade. Mohawks say they didn't shoot him during the gun battle.
It was an accident. There was no one at fault. The policeman apparently climbed up a tree, slipped, fell, shot himself right there. He was transported to Saint-Eustache Hospital.
The Quebec police force refused to confirm or deny the Mohawks' claim. They simply said they're investigating Lemay's violent death. Marcel Lemay was a Quebec City resident. He was 31 years old. He was married and had a 1-year-old daughter. He was a member of the SWAT team since 1987. 2 years ago, he gave Radio-Canada in Quebec City an interview about the training program for SWAT team members. Today, members of Lemay's union say they're going to find out how their fellow officer died. There are people that must feel responsible for Lemay's death, said the union's president, like the government that's refused to get involved, that's been hiding its head in the sand until this morning's police operation. The coroner will be performing an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Results should be available in a matter of days. Joyce Napier, CBC News, Saint-Eustache.
We're going to go back now behind the barricades in Oka. Our reporter John Curtin has spent the entire day alongside the Mohawk as they maintain their blockade. He picks up the story now at the point immediately after the fatal shooting this morning. The Mohawk reaction was tough and destructive.
The Mohawks celebrated when the police left, celebrated what they called a victory over the QPF. Most of the Mohawks seemed shocked that the raid had taken place. They said they were angry too, angry that a dispute over a small piece of land had ended in violence.
They're crazy. I think because of a few people that initiated this whole thing. I mean the non-Indians that initiated this project of a golf course and then trying to take the land away. Because it's Mohawk land, it's our land. There's a little bit left. They're sucking the marrow out of our bones. That's obviously what they all want. They want everything.
What do you think of the provincial police's attempt this morning to take this barricade?
Foolish. Foolish, because they're ready to kill us.
We kept talking to them, saying, you know, what kind of people are you? There's children here and you're shooting tear gas at us. We're unarmed and you're aiming your weapons at us. What kind of people are you?
Natives took out their anger on what the police had left behind. 4 cars, 2 vans, and a front-end loader. They used the loader to crush the vehicles. Then they pushed them down the road, creating 2 new barricades blocking off Highway 344. For the rest of the day, the Mohawks have been waiting for a police counterattack. They say they're ready for anything now and will shoot 3 bullets for every one fired by the police. John Curtin, CBC News, Oka.
This is a pretty complicated story, and we've prepared a map of the area disputed around Oka to help you get your bearings. We're going to take a look at that map and see if we can understand. You can see the existing golf course is to the right, and where the golf course would have been expanded to the top of the screen. Those 2 barricades, those 2 bright spots are where the barricades are, one of them on Highway 344. Farther down that highway, the QPF has set up its command post. And our reporter, John Curtin, is between those 2 barricades from Route 344 to along Chemin du Mille. Mr. John Curtin cannot get into us live by microwave because he's behind the barricades, but he joins me now by telephone. John, what's going on now behind the barricades there in Oka?
Well, it's been quite quiet and calm for the last few hours, but tension is beginning to mount again, Dennis, because we've seen from one of these barricades, at the crushed police van barricade I'm talking about now, down the hill the police have brought in 2 dump trucks and a front-end loader, which looks like they mean business, so tension is mounting now.
Now, do the people behind the barricade there, John, think they can stay very long? I talked to you earlier. There's no food or nothing to drink back there.
For journalists, no food and drink, but the Mohawk have plenty of provisions, and they are extremely well armed. All day we have been seeing countless Mohawk coming and going on the golf carts they took from the golf club, with heavy weapons, automatic weapons, semi-automatic weapons. They have plenty of firepower, and they say they're ready for anything the police can fire at them.
Now, John, any sign of any negotiations? You said the trucks were brought in and the heavy equipment. No sign of talks then?
The only talks that I've heard going on right now are among the Mohawk themselves. They've been sitting down all afternoon since 1 o'clock, trying to discuss what they would do if the police come back in again.
No sign of that at this point?
Well, except for that, the couple of dump trucks that are now in place, and the front-end loaders, and, by the way, we have been told now that all entry and exit onto the reserve have been cut off, so it's impossible to get in or out now. We were just told that about 10 minutes ago. We haven't had it confirmed.
Thank you, John Curtin. We'll go back to you as events warrant tonight during the show.
Thank you.
Crystal Nicholas has been at the barricade outside Kanehsatake since early this morning. She is a Mohawk who has family behind the barricade. Crystal Nicholas joins me now. Crystal Nicholas, what do you think, what do you worry about your family in there?
Well, obviously about their safety is my primary concern at this time. I mean, what are we supposed to expect? This whole situation has gotten way out of hand. I don't understand the logic behind the amount of police officers that have been sent there to intervene, supposedly. Now they're doing it themselves. I'm wondering who's getting the most satisfaction out of all of this.
I wonder, though, Crystal Nicholas, I bet a lot of people watching this don't understand the logic of a lot of Mohawk behind those lines with heavy weapons.
Well, the only thing I can say, I can't speak on behalf of the people who are manning the weapons or who have the weapons. I'm not their spokesperson. The only thing I'm speaking on as a concerned Native person living within that community.